everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you all what I feed my family in a week. I did a food shopping haul last Tuesday. I will link it down below if you want to go take a look at it. But in there, I showed you 7 meal ideas to feed your family. So today I'm going to be showing you 5 of those meals. I'm going to show you what ingredients you need, how you cook them, and what they look like once they are cooked. This is a typical week for our family of the kind of things that we will eat in a week. So if you like what you see, then I would love for you to subscribe down below because I post loads of videos like this on my channel. So let's get straight on into it. Right, so for tonight's dinner, I'm gonna do something completely different. This is actually a Jamie Oliver recipe, and I saw him do it, and it just looked amazing that I had to try it. So this is a sausage and fennel risotto. I don't know if you guys are used to cooking with fennel. I'm not, to be honest, but when I have tried it, I've really loved it. It's got kind of like an aniseedy kind of taste, but it's not overpowering at all. It's just really nice. So basically, for this recipe, you will need garlic, onions, fennel. I use a fresh fennel, but you can use fennel seeds if you would prefer. You also need a really good pack of sausages. Don't get like really cheapy ones. I like to use the Tesco finest ones because they've got so much flavor in them. And then you're also gonna need a vegetable stock cube, some cheese, and some risotto rice. So what you want to do first of all is put the garlic and onions into your pan with fennel. Dice the fennel up really finely so it's not like big chunks of it, and then you just want to brown that off. Then you want to get your sausages and then take the skin off them. I find the easiest way to do this is run the knife up the top of the sausage, and then the skin just comes away really easily, and the meat on the inside comes out really easily. Then you want to brown that off again, and then add your risotto rice. Give it a quick little mix around. However much risotto rice you are using, I find you want to put at least double, maybe even like quadruple the amount of water in, but I just add it in slowly. So I add in double to begin with, and then I will add in some more if it needs it. And then also add in your stock cube as well. Pop the lid on, let it simmer for a while. And then once it's nearly ready, you want to cut up your cheese into cubes, pop it in, put the lid back on so the cheese all melts into it. Give it a really good stir around, and that is your meal done. It is so delicious. My kids love it, so I really hope your kids will love it too. Right, so today for dinner I am making a chickpea and spinach curry. This is so easy to make. The boys are still at school, so I'm just gonna prep it now because we all have the dentist later when we get back. So by the time we get back from the dentist, it'll be like too late to start faffing around and making something. So I am meal prepping now. This is really good because I like to make quite a lot of it, and then it lasts me for like my lunch tomorrow or throughout the week. So what I'm gonna do it with instead of rice is bulgur wheat. So basically what you need for this meal is some onions, garlic, spinach. I like to use frozen spinach because it never goes off. Chickpeas, coconut milk, some olive oil, some spices. I use ginger, garam masala, turmeric, and some curry powder. And I also use a vegetable stock cube. For this dish, what you need to do is just add in your garlic, your onions, and your frozen spinach if you want to use frozen spinach, but of course you can just use fresh spinach if you want to. And if you're gonna use fresh spinach, you wanna put that in at the very end instead of at the beginning. So I'm just gonna put everything into my pan and let them all have a little defrost, and I'm gonna give them a mix around to brown them off a little bit. Then I'm gonna add in my chickpeas and my coconut milk, and I will then also add in my ginger, my turmeric, my garam masala, and my curry powder and my vegetable stock. Give everything a really good mix together, pop the lid on and just let it simmer for quite a while, maybe like 15 minutes, so all the spices can kind of get infused into everything, and then everything will take on those really delicious flavors. While you're letting your pot simmer, that is when I will start to cook my rice. The way I do this, which I find the easiest, is literally just a cupful of bulgur wheat or rice. That I find does 4 people really well. And then I put 2 cups of water in. So whatever you are putting in of rice or bulgur wheat, I just double it with water. I put it on the hob, bring it to the boil, then turn it down to simmer for about 5 minutes, and then turn it off and leave it off. Do not open the lid, and that is the best way I find to cook rice or bulgur wheat. I just wanted to add as well that if you didn't want to cook the rice or the bulgur wheat separately, you can always cook it in the curry as well. So when you put the lid on to simmer for the main curry, you just add in your cupful of bulgur wheat or rice, and it will cook in all of the juices like the coconut milk and everything, and then the rice will take on those flavors as well, and it makes it super delicious. It kind of makes it like a biryani type meal instead. Right, so today is club day for the boys, so I need to have some dinner like already made up and ready for them to just eat when they get home. Today we're going to be having lasagna. I make everything myself, so all from scratch. I don't use any jars. I make my own white sauce and obviously the tomato sauce as well. So all you're going to need for this meal is an onion, some mince, some chopped tomatoes, a stock cube, some Lea & Perrins sauce, soya sauce, lasagna sheets, some butter, some milk, and some flour. And then what I do, I serve some like salad or something like that on the side to make it a little bit healthier, or if the kids want some carrots or some peas, they can choose what they'd like to have as their little side bit. So what you want to do is cut up your onion quite finely and pop it into a pan with a little bit of olive oil and just fry it off to make it soft. Then you want to add in your mincemeat and just brown that off. I actually forgot to tell you that I now include some garlic as well. And then once that's all softened and gone brown, I will then add in my chopped tomatoes and my stock cube. I will just let that simmer for quite a while. I'll add in some herbs maybe if I fancy it. I have got these little mixed herbs which work really, really well in this recipe. And then while that is cooking away, I will make my white sauce. The way I make a white sauce is I put a dollop of butter into the pan and I melt it. And then I will add in a little bit of flour. I use self-raising flour because I don't find there's any difference between using self-raising flour or plain flour. Once it has kind of like come together in a ball, I will then slowly start adding my milk and just keep whisking and whisking and whisking, and you'll see it start to thicken up. Then you add a little bit more milk. Once that starts to thicken up again, add a little bit more. And I think the secret to making the best lasagna is to have quite a lot of white sauce. For me, that's the best bit about the lasagna. So I like to make quite a generous amount to put into my lasagna. Once both of those are ready, you just want to lay your mincemeat down. Then I lay my lasagna sheets down, and then I will put some of my white sauce over the top. Then I will go again with my mince, my pasta sheets, and then my white sauce again. And lastly, I'll finish it off with a really generous amount of cheese too. Right, so for dinner tonight, we are having chicken fajitas. The boys chose this. They got to see what we had in the fridge. I told them what meals we could have and they chose fajitas. So super simple to make and they don't take long at all. So what you need for this is some potatoes to make your wedges, some chicken, some peppers, a red onion, some fajita wraps, an Old El Paso fajita mix, or you can make your own if you like, but I just use the Old El Paso one because it's just so easy. And then I have also got some lettuce leaves because for me, I'm gonna try and be good, not have the wraps, and instead I'm gonna put my contents into the lettuce leaf, use the kind of boat as my wrap. It's so good, honestly. So basically, first of all, what you need to do is chop up your potatoes into wedges and pop them into the oven for about 45 minutes on 200 degrees centigrade. Then you want to chop up your chicken into strips and get it into the wok right then and start cooking it and brown it off. While that is browning off, you want to chop your peppers up into strips and do the same with your red onion. Once the chicken's been browned off, you want to add in your Old El Paso mix and give it all a really good coating. And then last minute, you pop in your peppers and your red onion, and that's your fajita mix done. Once that's all ready, your wedges should be ready as well. Plate it all up, put it all in the middle of your table, and your kids will love it. So what I thought I would do today is something a little bit different with my salmon. This is totally made up. This is like a Kerry recipe and it is really nice. I've tried it quite a few times before. So what we get is I have a whole side of salmon, but I cut it in half because obviously I buy a whole salmon to make it cheaper because you can get so many more portions out of a whole side than you can if you buy them individually. So for this meal, you'll need some salmon, some Philadelphia, a vegetable stock cube, some spring onions, some rice or bulgur wheat or couscous or anything like that, and a vegetable of your choice. Tonight we are having broccoli. So you pop your salmon onto a baking tray with some foil on it, and then you get your Philadelphia. I use like a slim pot of Philadelphia, and I use about half the pot for the 4 of us. And then I will spread it over the top of the salmon, sprinkle half of my stock cube over the top as well, and chop up my spring onions really finely and sprinkle those over the top too. I will then pop that into the oven on 190 for about 25 minutes. While that's cooking in the oven for 25 minutes, I will then go on and make my rice or my bulgur wheat. Tonight we are actually having bulgur wheat, which is really, really healthy for you. Bring it up to the boil. Once it's boiling, turn it down to simmer for 10 minutes and then turn it off and leave it. So while I'm cooking the bulgur wheat, I will put the other half of the vegetable stock cube into, and then once the bulgur wheat has been cooked, I will get my broccoli and I will just cut it up into pieces and then pop it into the same pan as the bulgur wheat. I won't turn it on or anything like that because just the steam alone will cook your broccoli, and by the time that's cooked, your salmon will be ready. You can dish it up and you guys will all love it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you soon. Bye!